Hi folks, I've got two knives here to show you from a British knife maker called Shing Chan. Now, you may know I love British made knives. This Tailor's Eyewitness is something I collect quite a lot of, but I didn't know that there were many British knife makers left making decent pocket knives. And when I heard of Shing Chan, I was interested to see some of his knives. Now, it was Al at UK Legal Carry Knives that first brought them to my attention. He had a really nice green micarta knife in the pattern that Shing calls his recurve. These two are both in that pattern. Now, having been lent one, which he did the video of the green micarta one, he was then offered from one of his subs this one for sale, which he bought, and he lent it to me just for a review. This one is 154 cm steel, and it has stainless steel bolsters, stainless steel springs, stainless steel liners, G10 yellow liners there, and then with some debate of whether this is micarta or G10. I don't know. If I had to really nail my colours to the mast, I would say I think it's probably micarta, but Al is certain it's micarta, and Shing Chan is certain it's G10. My money would be on micarta, but you know, does it matter? It's a synthetic material that's really hard wearing, looks good. It's got a nice sort of like a wood grain to it, which is really nice, and that really nicely cut in shield, very nicely done. Fit and finish on these knives is absolutely superb. Now, so I got that one, and I did a review on it the other day, and then one of my subs, Carl, contacted me and said, would I be interested in this one? And I jumped at it, and I hadn't really seen it. You know, he sent me some pictures, and you know, a couple of pictures on Instagram tell you one thing. It's a whole different thing when you get it in hand. I mean, one thing, for a start, I'm not sure what it's made of. I think that this is G10, but it's very, very fine in grain. It could be bone. I just don't know, and I've been looking at it under a microscope, under a magnifying glass, trying to work it out, and I can't really be sure. Certainly there's a G10 liner between the scales and the bolsters, which are stainless steel. This one has an S30V steel blade, which is great. Fit and finish and everything is absolutely superb on these knives. What originally jumped out at me when I saw these was, many of you will know my sort of favourite channel knife, my everyday carry knife, and I do carry one of these every day, is my Enzo PK70. I mean, this one's looking a bit bashed up now, but this one is titanium and crowned polished G10. Funnily enough, I do have one in micarta, and another one in G10, and a carbon fibre one as well. But this reminded me very much of this. Now, I know the blade shape is different, and I know the handle shape is different, but it was more to do with the materials and the fit and finish, and in some ways, almost the feel in hand. Because the one criticism I've always had of this is that some of these edges here are kind of sharp. I mean, you're not going to cut yourself on them, but they're just a little bit, they make themselves known. And when I made the video of this the other day, the only criticism I had of it, and, you know, again, it wasn't putting me off. In fact, I wanted one of these from the minute I first touched it, but I do think that some of these edges are a bit on the harsh side, and they could do with a little bit of rounding off. Then this one arrives in my life, and it is much more rounded off. This is kind of I mean, this was already made, it was already in existence, but I'd never touched it or seen it. But this is what I was asking for. This is almost exactly what I was asking for. The other thing it has over the black one, which I'm kind of slightly taken with, is it's very slightly smaller. Now, I don't know how well that will come over in the view. Now, when I say it's smaller, this one is 73mm blade, tang to tip. This one is 70mm tang to tip. So it's 2 or 3 millimeters difference. Might not sound a lot, but it certainly feels it. And this actually feels like a better size and shape for an everyday carry knife. More in line with some of my Sheffield knives that I've got. Now, Shing Chan, I say, might, Super Steel Steve is probably tearing his hair out and saying, buy Chinese. Oh, no, he's from Sheffield, born and bred. So, but apparently his current workshop is in Derbyshire, which is also in England, for those of you from foreign climes. So he's not a Sheffield knife maker now, but he's a Sheffield lad, and that is perfectly good enough for me. More than happy with that. I love the idea of having British-made knives. I mean, I know Americans love American-made knives. I understand that. I'm not American. I understand why people are reluctant to buy Chinese knives, although I have some very good Chinese knives. My J-made folder is brilliant. I should probably have it out just from comparison for this, but it's away in a case at the minute. But these are superb knives. The only other thing, and I said it about the other one, and I probably said about this one, the action on them is quite strong. But having spoken to Shing since making that video, he tells me that he's made the action on these knives a little bit lighter. Now, Sheffield knives have heavy actions. Even this one, which is relatively light. I mean, this is a user. I like this. This may not be my everyday carry knife, but I'm using it at the minute. But this has I don't know if I can demonstrate this on camera. I'll try my very best. I need to see the nail neck, which is the difficult bit. See, I mean, it's a fairly hefty action. Lovely polish on this blade as well. I do love these Taylor's Eyewitness knives. Lee, if you're listening, love these knives. That's a heavy action. These ones, no half stops. Whoa, you hear that? And then I'm going to open it. Oh, look at that. What the Apostle P calls a man's pull. Oh, reasonable snap on the opening. I've seen a lot worse. In fact, next video I'm going to shoot, I'm not sure which order they're going to come out. The next video I'm about to shoot after this one will be a GEC, which has a very soggy action. So there's nothing to complain about here. Now listen to this one when it opens. See if I can do that on camera without chopping myself. Oh, you hear that? Good solid action. No getting away from that. Now, oops. Had Al offered me the black one for sale, I would have snapped it up. But I'm glad, well, he didn't. I think he wants to keep it himself. I think he likes it. But I'm really glad that this one came along. I was just on the verge of ordering a new one from Shing, and I will probably do that anyway. But what I was going to order was something very similar to this, only I was going to ask for S30V steel or S90 or something like that, or S110 or something, rather than 154. And I was going to ask for this sort of softening of some of the edges, and I didn't really like the yellow liners particularly. Politically, red is the wrong colour for me, but I like it anyway. It used to be my favourite colour when I was a child. Everybody would ask me, what's your favourite colour? I was always red. My brother was blue and I was red. And now politically we're probably in the other extremes, but there we are. No, so I was really happy when this came along. I will still get a Shing knife because I want to, I like to build up my collection of British knives, but I think I might wait a little bit and just have a think about some of the other patterns that he does and maybe get something slightly different, or I may get something in this sort of pattern but just with some different materials. But I certainly would like another one, and having told him I was about to order one, I think it would be rude not to. One doesn't want to get someone's hopes up and then turn them down. I'm also hoping to add to my Michael May collection. I've been speaking to him. He's a bit run off his feet. The COVID crisis hit him quite hard. He had a lot of childcare issues, which knocked him back a little bit. So I'm hoping to let him get back on his feet, and then later this year we'll get something else from him. And at some point later this year, I'm still after a Barlow in Amboina wood like this from Lee White, and another one in Desert Ironwood. So I'm really keen to get hold of those, and maybe a couple of his gentleman's clips. I bought one of his gentleman's clips. It's in a really, really nice shape. I bought one in mother of pearl, but I'd maybe like one or two more in one or two other materials. But we'll see how that goes. We'll get there. Can't buy everything all at once because I would be poor. But thank you all for watching. If you like this, please tick the thumbs up box. And if you want to see some more of this stuff, there's a GEC coming up, and then there's some cut tests with the Rockstead, which I am going to film both of after this, and they'll be out over the next week or so, I expect. So thank you very much, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye.